So I've got some traverses here, and I want to talk to you about reports and kind of how they work. I'm going to pick these first 10 traverses, and I'm going to go into something we call traverse report. And I'm just choosing those 10 because this isn't instantaneous. If you've got a lot of lots to print out, generate reports for, depending on what options you choose, you can finally get a chance to have that cup of coffee you were looking for earlier. So I'm going to come in and tell Traverse PC I want to print data for each of these selected traverses, and I've got 10 of them selected. But again, I can choose everything, just the tagged ones, the selected ones. That's what I want. I'm going to tell Traverse PC I want a traverse summary, I want an error summary, and I want a legal description. So those are the three main things I want to include right now. I'm going to go into settings for the legal description, and I can tell it kind of what I want. I don't want to do one course per line, so I'm going to get the paragraph style. I want to include descriptions. I want it to be uppercase, that sort of thing. I want to include area with it when it's all said and done. And I can save those as a style or use an existing style. And then I'm telling Traverse PC I want to do a page break for each traverse. In Lane County here, when I submit a subdivision report, I need a report for the boundary, and then I need a report for each lot, and they want each lot on its own page. So that's why that's in there. And then I can have the totals included at the bottom. So this will be quick. I can just hit OK. Traverse PC generates the report, and for lot 1 I've got error summary, traverse summary, legal description with those settings. Lot 2 all the way down to lot 10, and then my averages. I'm going to delete this, and now we're going to include a little bit different information here in this report. I'm going to select all of these parcels just for a moment, and I'm going to go into Traverse Properties. No, Traverse Format is what I want. Traverse View Format. And I'm going to tell it I just want to change the format of each. And the reason I'm doing this is because it's this format that's going to be used in the Traverse report. And none of these parcels have elevations or descriptions, so I don't need those in there. And I also want a single row per point. So if I opened up the Traverse view for any one of those now, they would have this format with a single row per point. Well, that's the format it's going to use now when I reselect these for my Traverse report. And I did do this at first because it takes just a little longer to generate this report when I turn on Traverse data. But I want you to see what it does. So let's hit OK. It's using all the same information I had before, but it has to go in and format that Traverse data for each traverse. So this is where I can finally get my cup of coffee that I've been waiting for all morning, and I'm not going to have to wait very long. Think about what it would take to generate this, copy, paste, all the opportunities for errors, and Traverse PC just did it for me. That is so nice. So here's lot 1. This time now I have this Traverse data, so I have all the bearings and distances. I've formatted it to include some curve information, and then the northing and easting. Again, I have my error summary, traverse summary, so I've got closure, distance around the lot, square feet, acres, and then a legal description for each. Now, if I go ahead and format this, so I'm going to a letter size sheet of paper and preview it here, I can see that there's page 1, there's page 2, there's page 3. So there's my pagination that it did with one lot per page. And then I have a couple opportunities here. One is I can print this again as a PDF file. Remember we've been talking about that? So it's going to ask me where I want to save it, okay? And I can go wherever. I mean, I could stay in this one or go to the deliverables folder for another project, okay? And I'll just stay in this one for now. So here's my Traverse report. It's going to write that report out and then display the PDF with the same pagination I had inside of Traverse PC. So I can change font size, switch to landscape if I need more width. I turn some word wrap stuff off. Or I want to have you see that I can also save this report. So I'm going to save report as. I guess this is going to go to the samples here, where I probably should have saved the other one. Or we can go back into that deliverables folder. That's fine. And I'm going to save it as trav report doc. Okay. I did that because I want to open that back up now. And here's my trav report doc. It's just a document file that gets opened up in Word. Okay, so now I can change page margins, I can make that landscape portrait, I can change font size, I can edit this, but I want you to see again, there's a page for each lot because of that pagination, and then when I get all the way to the bottom, here's my averages down here for those 10 parcels. So I can decide I want to do a point plot, or a traverse report like this, include the information I want, write a PDF, write a doc, whatever. And what I love about this is that there's no transcription errors. It didn't take me a great deal of time. Traverse BC just generated that for me. And then it just becomes part of my deliverables. Now, there are lots of things that become reports. I did a traverse report that's specifically for that. But there are stakeout reports for my cuts and fills that I marked on the stakes. Legal descriptions come out as reports. I can go to the survey information or the tools and do a survey report that prints out basic information about that particular survey that I might want to put in the folder. If I drop back to my one we learned earlier, or used earlier, I was going to show you this and completely forgot about it. The way to use traverse reports here is that I might want to send the architect a description of those point codes that I had. Well, Traverse BC has something called point codes, and here are those codes that I included in that ASCII file, and I can just tell Traverse BC that I want to either print that or append it to the report view, and I'm just going to append it to a report view. So here's a report just like I used a moment ago to generate the traverse report, but now it has those descriptions for me, and I can send that to the architect. I might also now want to add that survey information report, because now it's got the files that I'm including for the images for the utilities. Plus he's got some information on elevation and survey information. So I might just print this out now and write a PDF of that or a doc file of that to that deliverables folder. So I use these reports for lots of different things, and I write PDFs of everything. So not just PDFs of drawings, but I'll often come in and write PDFs of the reports. Again, I just make sure everyone can open that. And then of course, I can edit this. And I can put any additional information I want in here. I can say assumed elevation, 52 feet at noted monument per Google Earth. So I'm just duplicating some of what's on the drawing there, but now there's no question that the elevations I'm using here were at whatever particular monument that was, starting at 52 feet, and where I got that from. So it's really nice to have that kind of information in here. And then of course, when I save the survey, that information all gets saved, those reports all get saved with it as well. So it's just kind of a one save does everything.